The moment you make someone promise anything is the same moment you ask them to lie to you. It takes as much courage to have tried and failed as it does to have tried and succeeded. A better future is shaped by collective efforts to make the right social and political choices as a progressive society. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. We should forgive our enemies, but not before they are hanged. Some battles don't have a winner. Sometimes the best a good general can hope for is a ceasefire. Follow your dreams and never ever stop believing in yourself. And one day you will achieve your dreams and feel happy that you never gave up. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. As for methods of prayer, all are good, as long as they are sincere. The only limits for tomorrow are the doubts we have today. Sometimes you need a little crisis to get your adrenaline flowing and help you realize your potential. I am philosophical Christ, crucified on the cross of ignorance for the sake of divine vanity. Sometimes you recognize truth because it destroys you for a bit. Once you had put the pieces back together, even though you may look intact, you were never quite the same as you'd been before the fall. Sometimes the grass is greener. Sometimes it is sick. I had learned that when you want something really good for you, you must work hard for it, or you must pay for it. We do not have to be mental health professionals to identify the traits of the possible sociopaths among us. Don't step backward toward nothing. Step forward towards something. Better awkward steps forward than coward steps backward. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. It is important that we forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on. Wisdom comes not from age, but from education and learning. You'll forget it when you're dead, and so will I. When I'm dead, I'm going to forget everything, and I advise you to do the same. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. You can't always be right, but you can be wrong a lot less. Mixing old wine with new wine is stupidity, but mixing old wisdom with new wisdom is maturity. Life is like a novel. It's filled with suspense. You have no idea what is going to happen until you turn the page. All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions. The fundament upon which all our knowledge and learning rests is the inexplicable. He that can have patience can have what he will. Never let your past mistakes cause you to doubt your future. Most men would rather deny a hard truth than face it. Integrity is a powerful force, keeping you alive to others long after you've left their presence. There was another life that I might have had, but I am having this one. The point of modernity is to live a life without illusions while not becoming disillusioned. But merely being tradition does not make something worthy, Kadash. We can't just assume that because something is old it is right. One half of the world cannot understand the pleasures of the other. It's not enough to be nice in life. You've got to have nerve. I had a microscopic eye for the blemish, for the grain of ugliness which to me constituted the sole beauty of the object. Representatives of truth. The champions of truth are hardest to find, not when it is dangerous to tell it, but rather when it is boring. I can't really act the way I want to act or say what I want to say all the time. And a lot of times, I cover that up with a smile. Arrival in the world is really a departure, and that, which we call departure, is only a return. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Success does not consist in never making blunders, but in never making the same one a second time. If we thought more for ourselves, we would have very many more bad books and very many more good ones. In reality, there are no persons, only threads of memories and habits. At the moment of realization, the person ceases. Almost anyone can be an author. The business is to collect money and fame from this state of being. Wanting to be someone else is a waste of who you are. If life gives you any trouble, punch it in the face. All any of us wanted, really, was to know that we counted, that someone else's life would not have been as rich without us here. Don't lose your heart when things are uncertain. Instead, let it be the compass that guides you back to your truest self. Because if you found meaning in your life, you don't want to go back. You want to go forward. What saves a man is to take a step, then another step. Because this is the way things are meant to be. A person can go along quite a while if they get a good day every once and again. Light in your mind is better than darkness in your soul. Those who are willing to be vulnerable move among mysteries. But please remember, this is only a work of fiction. The truth, as always, will be far stranger. The piano keys are black and white, but they sound like a million colors in your mind. Only something extremely dire and disabling will ever stop a real writer from writing. Retirement is never an option. Be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. Understanding is but the sum of our misunderstandings. Just between us, that's my way of comprehending the world. In a nutshell, it is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life. It's impossible to walk through solid rock. You have to walk between the molecules that make up the rock. The truth is usually left for us to hunt and gather independently if we are so inclined. It is a very natural human trait to destroy that which frightens us. Go on with what your heart tells you, or you will lose all. At the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you. Have enough courage to start and enough heart to finish. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I will call life which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. At some point, you just gotta forgive the past. Your happiness hinges on it. The smallest thing, well done, becomes artistic. It is an ironic habit of human beings to run faster when they have lost their way. They don't actually want you to do your own thing, not unless it's their thing too. It is impossible to build one's own happiness on the unhappiness of others. This perspective is at the heart of Buddhist teachings. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Not all things that fall down break. Some develop wings. Still, anyone who trusts a serpent deserves its bite. The wise see a creature for what it is, not what it says it may be. The wisest are the most annoyed at the loss of time. There is one who remembers the way to your door. Life you may evade, but death you shall not. People are always complaining that life's not fair, but that simply isn't true. Life is extraordinarily fair. It's just not centered on you. The human person finds his perfection in seeking and loving what is true and good. Don't wake me for the end of the world unless it has very good special effects. We may regard certain days as free days. Free days or however fee days. We will pay later. The act of going within, finding our truth, and then sharing it, it helps us far more than we know. Life is not about living the safer option. Life is about living a life worth living. When people stargazing, they stare at stars and many other things which they've already presumed commonly and universally as stars. Focus on making choices to lead your life that aligns with your core values in the most purposeful way possible. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Sometimes one likes foolish people for their folly, better than wise people for their wisdom. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. Ideas have endurance without death. Success involves going to where others believe is too far. Our worlds are an AI rendering of our inputs. Be curious, travel, and pour to create a better world. Great truths can only be forgotten and can never be falsified. A hero is no braver than an ordinary man, but he is brave 5 minutes longer. Stay focused and work hard. Nothing in life is for free. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. Forever friends are a treasure chest of understanding and compassion. Cherish them. We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. If you can't enjoy what you have, you can't enjoy more of it.